Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, January 24th, 2018. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. The lawyer representing embattled former fashion model Yogi Farrell in her ongoing court case, Grant Connell, today says he will be asking the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution to nullify its case against his client. Farrell is facing a charge of using abusive language on senior counsel and the wife of Finance Minister Karen Duncan Gonzalez. She was initially sent to the mental health institution for 2 weeks observation, which was extended to another week when she made her follow-up court appearance on Monday. In an interview today with the news online site News 784, Connell noted that the matter will continue in court on Monday, January 29, 2018. However, he will be asking the court to extend certain courtesies, including having the matter heard in camera, which he said is in protection of his client's interests.
Maybe she may not be in court on Monday. We are turning this into a circus in the interest of Yogi Farrell. Her interest is paramount. I'm dealing with one simple matter before the court, nothing else. I've heard of other attorneys calling for blackmail charges to be brought to court. I know nothing of that. I heard the Prime Minister say certain things. The Prime Minister doesn't guide me. I have loyalty to no party, no colleague, no doctor. My interest right now is Yogi Farrell. Clearly there's an issue to be addressed. If the issue can be addressed at the so-called psychiatric hospital where she is, that is a question that's still out to the jury. This matter seems to be tried by public opinion. I don't work in those courts. In the court that I work in, I'll do the best of my ability to act in the interest of Ms. Farrell.
Noting that he is fully aware of the public's interest in the case, Connell said it is his hope that after a decision is made on Monday, that the same interest of the public in Farrell's well-being is maintained.
If it is that we get her to a hospital overseas so that she could get the proper treatment, see a psychiatrist, that the money will flow, and all those who say that they are genuinely interested in Ms. Farrell, the interest will still be there. I understand there's a fundraising committee online. I'm not really into this social media thing. Some go-to fund. I'm doing this matter pro bono. There's no other lawyer involved. Other lawyers, we all officers of the court, we're free to join and assist pro bono. If it's about the money, I don't need their money. I'm not part of any kind of fundraising online. That can go to any lawyer who is requesting that and who's requesting that payment, right? So hopefully after Monday we can get this sorted. The interest of Ms. Farrell is paramount. She has a future.
Connell further noted that he will be asking the DPP to nullify the case, which he is hoping will be granted.
I think it's not the first matter he has stopped. It certainly will not be the last. And given how trivial it is, that does not automatically mean she will be removed from the institution. But hopefully her next stop will be overseas. And all in the power of me can come in the interest of Yogi Farrell, get her overseas, get her treated. She has a future, and we have to try and help her.
Meantime, Gayleen Farrell, the mother of the former fashion model, has expressed strong concern over the medication being given to her 22-year-old daughter. The mother, who was interviewed by Eyewitness News, said that her daughter informed her that she had indeed taken medication after being committed to the mental health institution.
When I went out there, Friday.
You mean out to the mental health center?
Yeah. I noticed Yogi moving unusual, you know. So I said, wait, one of them is the medication that again Yogi know why she moving. So we bought some she buy some omega-3 for sleep well, and then a herbal one for, you know, for the bones, and they give me them back for bring home. So you want to know how them could take them nice healthy tablets that we buy, and they give me them back for bring home. And I noticed now, I say, Yogi, so well, I asked one nurse today. I say, we complain, Yogi complain. Say she didn't sleep. Well, I say, Lord, when Yogi come, I say, Yogi, where you get? She have sleeping pills. I say, take it. She say, I say, but you know you shouldn't take it. She say, she take it. And I say, they give you any more pills? She say, she take 2 more, but I didn't ask her the name because normally know. She go know. So I know this one since she take them pill day, like she changed. Can she been good, and she do some bake sale for the 9 morning, and we make some money up Heritage Square.
Asked why she was absent from court on Monday, the concerned mother said she was informed that her daughter was unfit to attend court and would therefore not be present for Monday's hearing.
But coming back, why I didn't be in court yesterday, Dr. Providence told me. Saturday, she phoned us, tell us coming down outpatient. I went down there. She said, Miss Farrell, you give coming in court Monday because you give fit to come court. I say, I saw as usual movements too. I saw, she said, oh, you saw? I say, yeah, I saw it. So she tell me family and friends that you ain't coming into court. Yeah, because I don't want to tell everybody that you ain't coming. This is why, but I didn't talk yesterday, I mean, you get in court.
So how did you feel when you found out that she was in court?
Man, I don't know, I say God do everything while I ain't being there.
What do you mean by that?
Because me can't understand how they just had the girl just talking shit, talking, nobody ain't telling me nothing, nobody ain't coming and ask me, well you give no mother then. You give mom.
And the National Council of Women, the NCW, has given the assurance to the family of Yugi Farrell that the eyes of the organization is on the case and that a call will be made for women's groups across the Caribbean to stand in solidarity. A statement issued by President Beverly Richards today states that the NCW wants to ensure that every citizen, regardless of gender, race, or class, is permitted the space for justice, and that the unfolding events around the Yugi Farrell matter shines light on certain legal, moral, social, and mental issues affecting the nation. Richards in the statement said the council continues to gather the facts before it makes any official statement, noting that as a responsible organization, it has been to date discreet in its duty to speak on the matter involving Farrell, Minister of Finance Camilo Gonzalez, and his wife Karen Gonzalez. The NCW president further stated that the organization remains steadfast in its quest to see the removal of all forms of discrimination against women, whether educational, legal, economical, social, or otherwise, so as to ensure that their status and welfare are promoted and protected, and that they are able to be fully involved in the development of self, family, and the nation. In other news, the move towards developing medical marijuana here in SVG seems to be taking a forward move. The first in a series of consultations on the matter was held on Monday with several stakeholders at the Foreign Affairs Conference Room. Speaking on radio on the issue on Tuesday, Prime Minister and Minister of Legal Affairs, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, said a Vincentian advisor based in Canada has been guiding the process, and that at Monday at the consultation, several presentations were made.
Fantastic consultation with a large group of persons, cross-section of persons on the medical marijuana issue.
Wonderful.
Some persons some business persons, some people in the media, some Rastafari brothers and sisters, one banker, I would say about 40-50 people, and a presentation was made by a Vincentian from the Bowman Clark family. He's an expert in this area in Canada, medical doctor himself, and a fellow of the Royal College of Physicians of Canada. He gave a presentation, and of course I outlined our roadmap, and Subota provided a number of details. So I just want to say that that matter is on its way.
Meanwhile, President of the SVG Cannabis Revival Committee, Junior Spirit Cuttle, said while he would have preferred to see efforts to decriminalize marijuana as a sacred move for Rastafarians, he is however pleased with the government's efforts to establish a medical marijuana industry in the country.
Though I would have favored medical marijuana, the right for Rastafari to be given the freedom to smoke ganja and decriminalization, I still consider it as a step forward, looking at the circumstances. I say it as a step forward, and we should use that as a stepping stone to bring about decriminalization and freedom for Rastafari to be able to smoke ganja as a religious sacrament.
Vincent Jones here, who are interested in getting married in a foreign country, must ensure that they keep on hand their marriage certificate on return to SVG. This advice comes from lawyer Panel Campbell QC as he spoke on his Law and You program on Monday evening on SVG-TV discussing issues relating to marriage and divorce. Speaking on the issue of persons getting remarried in a foreign country, then returning home to SVG, Campbell said it doesn't matter where in the world a person is married. One such person gets remarried while still being married can be charged with bigamy.
So basically, for somebody who has gone abroad to the United States or Canada, England, elsewhere in the Caribbean, or in the wider world, and gets married there lawfully, and then after a while comes back to St. Vincent pretending that he or she is a single person, and then goes through a ceremony of marriage here or anywhere else in the Caribbean for that matter, knowing full well that he or she is getting married a second time, then that person could be found guilty of the offense of bigamy.
Campbell took the opportunity to highlight situations which allow for a marriage to be annulled.
Suppose somebody pretends to be a marriage officer and goes through a ceremony of marriage. Well then, if he's not a lawful marriage officer, that marriage is not regarded in law as having taken place at all. There's another circumstance in which one can get a degree of nullity if you can prove that the other party to the marriage has willfully refused to consummate the marriage. And out of sensitivity for the younger listeners, I would not explain that, but the adults will understand what I mean when I say that the law regards willful refusal to consummate the marriage as a ground on which the court can pronounce that the marriage was nullified.
An advice has been given to educators here to ensure that they stay within the confines of the law when it comes to handing down punishment in schools. Making reference to the 2006 Education Act, President of the SVG Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, who is speaking on the recently aired SVG-TU Speaks television program on SVG-TV, highlighted the issue of corporal punishment in schools.
Like to remind our teachers to stay within the confines of the law. There's a procedure, we say, the principal must designate who should administer corporal punishment, which should be done in a room away from the students, the other members of the class. It should not be done in the presence of the students. A particular instrument must be used, which is a leather strap, so many inches long, wide and thick. it must be administered as a last resort, which means, according to the Education Act number 34 of 2006, it is used when there is no other punishment that is suitable or effective, not more than 6 lashes in the palm of the hands, and when that is done, an entry must be made in a punishment book.
Robinson also spoke on how suspension and detention punishments should be handed down to students.
I want you to please follow the law, the procedure. The issue of suspension, that is the responsibility of the principals. There are some teachers who are suspending students from the class. That is not right. Okay, if you have a problem, draw it to the attention of the principal. Don't just say go to the principal, because if the child goes somewhere else, you would be responsible. Then the issue of detention, don't just do it today for today. Detention according to the Act must be done properly. According to the law, you must give prior notice. Even if you detain a child for 5, 6, 7 minutes, half an hour, you cannot do it today for today.
The Teachers Union president further spoke on how parents should enter a school compound.
Marching on the school compound, even though you may not be going there to create any disturbances, but we want you to follow the correct procedure. Students, remember when you're absent that your parents would give you a letter to write, or you may write it, or your parents would write, but your parents must sign to say why you were absent. Too many students sometimes are away from school and nobody seems to know what is happening. We want to use this opportunity again to remind our teachers to be professional in your dress, in your attire, how you conduct yourself. Plan your lessons, submit your records on time, and do so consistently.
Students at the St. Joseph Convent, Kingstown, were earlier today sensitized on domestic violence-related topics as they took part in a panel discussion as part of efforts to tackle the issue here in SVG. Held through the efforts of local activist Asbert Williams and his group, the Legalies. Today's session heard addresses from lawyer Zita Barnwell and health psychologist Dr. Josel Miller, who shed light on the legal framework surrounding the issue as well as the psychological aspect. Nikita Tony tells us more in this report.
Deemed as a fact-finding mission to learn how SVG can tackle the ongoing scourge of domestic violence, Vincentians over the past months have been engaged in a series of domestic violence-based panel discussions held across the country. Earlier today, Wednesday, January 24th, members of the team spearheading the initiative engaged students of the St. Joseph Convent, Kingstown in the discussion on how they too can play a role in tackling the issue. Urging the students to recognize their worth, Chairperson Ronnie Daniel gave an overview of the mission.
Done about 6 or 7 communities, including Community College and the St. Vincent Girls High School. We have more work to do this year, and you are the first for this year. Asbert was disturbed by the violence that he sees around him, and we ought to be disturbed as well, all of us, and do something about it. After all that will be said, I think if you could remember that, then you have a good start.
Speaking on the provisions of the 2015 Domestic Violence Act, lawyer Zita Barnwell alluded to the fact that the current act gives persons, especially minors, better protection when compared to the 1995 Domestic Violence Summary Proceedings Act.
It covers a little bit more. Also, where this act offers more protection is that the previous act only protected those persons who are living in the same household. This act doesn't, it makes it even wider. When you get older, we'll be able to even make this act better, stronger. Currently, what the issue might be, as some of you who might hear people talking all of the time, it's enforcement. Often, people say when I go to the police station that the police does not take me seriously. Or they will say, oh, there's a home thing, or there's a family thing, go by the family code. No, 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 no. They are to take you seriously, they are to lodge that report, and they are to investigate it.
Deeming the session as a very important conversation, health psychologist Dr. Giselle Miller, while giving an insight on the psychological impact of domestic violence, explained why it is important to have students, especially girls, involved in the discussion on the matter.
At a place now where you are making certain decisions as it relates to love and relationships. Now the thing is, I will tell you that you're at a stage where you need to focus on your schoolwork. Very important for you to understand that even if somebody, you know, your parents or your guardians or whomever, they are in an abusive situation, it's important for you to have the knowledge so that you yourself can also empower them to get out of it, okay?
Dr. Miller further advised the students to develop a love for the essence of who they are as individuals.
It is very important that you are mindful that you don't need to be a follower, but you can stand out and be a leader in your own right, okay? So you girls need to be setting goals. This is at this stage now, Form 3 and 4, right? You need to be focused. It means, therefore, that you need to start valuing yourself and respecting yourself. If you don't value yourself and you don't see yourself of great worth, then it is easy for you to sell yourself short.
An interactive session also took place during today's proceedings, where the students were given the opportunity to voice their concerns and/or recommendations on the issue. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
The Methodist Church is taking a strategic approach in leading the youth here in SVG and throughout the region to a life of Christ, thus aiding in reducing some of the many social ills which are affecting them in society. That's according to Reverend Derek Richards, newly appointed Bishop of the South Caribbean District of the Methodist Church, as he spoke at a media briefing on Monday, highlighting some of the positive initiatives which the church has planned as a way of transforming the region. Highlighting some of the initiatives to be undertaken, Reverend Richards said that the church is charged with saving the youth.
We have been very deliberate at leading them to life in Christ, especially as we recognize the challenges we face throughout our region. And we believe that the church has the responsibility at saving our young people, and by doing that, to save our region from many of the evils that we face. We have also been, as I said, very focused at ensuring that young people participate meaningfully in the ministries of our church. And so we have several of our young people that we are preparing to be a part of our ordained ministry. Right here in St. Vincent, in this circuit, Kingston, Chateaubelair, we are nurturing 2 young men who within another year or 2 will go off to Jamaica to be trained for the Methodist ministry.
Reverend Richards said they will also be seeking to have a greater impact on school-age youngsters through an innovative school program.
Serious conversation about establishing schools that Methodist Church has total control over, because we believe that we have a contribution to make, not only by going in to be involved in religious education, but throughout the curriculum, that we have a contribution to make. As you look at our theme, Renewed in Christ, committed to a new Caribbean, we believe that in order for us to see this new Caribbean emerging, that we must begin to be very deliberate in how our children and young people are groomed, including in educational institutions. We want to ensure that we safeguard the future of our region with persons who are able to be productive in every area.
Superintendent of the Kingston Shatibele Circuit of the SVG Methodist Church, Reverend Adolph Davis, expressed confidence that the initiatives that the church will be undertaking will have a positive effect on the society.
That was very encouraging as we met in this conference is that we have been seeing some very positive signs in terms of the spiritual development of our people, and we hear the reports of how people are becoming much more confident and engaged in prayer, and that is for us very significant because prayer really forms the foundation for so many other possibilities of ministry within the church and outside of the church. And so there's a lot that we have seen that has really been very encouraging in terms of the enriching of our lives as a church and the growth of our people. And so we are really praying that as we continue this work, the growth would be both internal and external, because the theme that has really guided our reflections is renewed in Christ, committed to a new Caribbean. And so we're really seeing how, as God transforms us, we can be transformative in the wider community.
Digicel today announced the appointment of Vincentian Addison Stoddard as Chief Operating Officer for its Turks and Caicos operations, effective immediately. According to the company, in this role, Stoddard is charged with delivering operational excellence across all channels while adopting a digital-first approach to ensuring the best communications experience to all customers. The company further stated that one of Stoddard's first priorities will be to continue overseeing the major rebuild of Digicel's infrastructure network, which started a few months ago. Excited about his new role, Stoddard said it's an exciting time for Digicel and its customers, and that he is thrilled to be leading an already amazing team during this period of the company's transformation.